The university's 2009 Diversity Task Force report states, along with the global future of the workplace, we know that having a more diverse campus is critical for preparing students.
Well, I don't think any organization has an option about it. If you want to be relevant today, you have to be diverse. That's the future. That's the composition of the population that we're serving. In order to adequately serve all of your clients, you have to be representative of all your clients. The period of having only policy or programs that cater to only one group is essentially over. So you need to answer to the diversity within your customer base. So you have to diverse.
I really think they need to recognize that there's a problem and then help the groups, the minorities, and develop a standing here, whether it be in RSOs, kosher meal plans for Jewish students, recognizing cultural holidays, religious holidays, and being more sensitive to it.
Because we're responsible for creating an inclusive and equitable work and learning environment. How do we do that? We shape policy, we provide programs, we educate the community, and we can't really do that until we know what the problems are.
Having been a student here about 10 years ago, I think the university's made several strides, particularly the past couple years since President Harker has been here, to embrace diversity, to do what they can to attract more students from different backgrounds. But at the same time, I also think there's a lot more that needs to be done.
We can tell things like our racial and ethnic makeup of our student body, our gender makeup of our workforce. We can tell about areas that are pretty typical when you think about diversity, the surface.
Right.
But what we can't really tell until we get this survey is what's happening underground. How are people feeling that they're being treated? How welcomed they feel being a part of our community? And then what can we do to make them feel more welcomed? So there's a lot of focus on international students has been an area.
Right, yeah.
So people that don't have voices, the LGBT community, not a huge, because you can't tell that just looking at someone. So until you do a survey, a campus-wide survey, you're not going to really know what the issues are.
The Center for International Studies collaborates with colleges' academic departments and faculty to support and expand international studies and programs at the university.
I think the university should have events that are sponsored by these small organizations that can teach people and show them what kind of cultures are the students sitting next to you in the classroom, and they can do that by having something really interesting that anyone wants to go to, but the people sponsoring would be these little organizations just to get the word out and have other people join or just learn.
The Center for Black Culture has worked to support and enhance cultural diversity on campus and in the surrounding community by offering a variety of programs that encourage an appreciation and understanding of the diverse cultures in the African diaspora.
We've got a lot of action happening on campus that has to do with making it a more welcoming and equitable environment,
Right.
but it's not happening in a centralized way. So we're hoping to kind of get everyone together and make it bigger and better.
From my perspective, I think it is really diverse, just that a lot of people may not know about different activities on campus. Like they're there, but it's just that a lot of people just don't know about it. So maybe, information, posters, just making the students aware.
Well, we're seeing a shift. I mean, we're seeing a cultural shift. It's happening, I think, faster now as we're becoming a nation of one. It took the 60s, 60s and 70s movement, civil rights movement, women's movement to really get these issues on the forefront. And I think the movement is still happening, it just looks differently. Okay. So it may not be the big marches on Washington, the bra burnings, the bus boycotts. I think it's now more internet-based. People, different generations saying, the old way is not acceptable. You know, we demand equal rights for all people, that the quality of a person is more than skin deep. I think we're getting there.
Okay.
We're seeing huge numbers of our diverse populations going through the roof. I mean, there's just the gains in the last year are impressive.
The young man would have addressed the aspect of the different things that take place on campus and their diverse things. You know, I'm visiting and I see a diversity of things, and I found it rather interesting. And it's on cultural diversity, and yes, on that aspect, you know, a lot more can be done to showcase, you know, the different cultures that are represented at the university. No doubt there's several cultures, because even sitting here I'm seeing some persons across there and they look more Asian, right? Then you see some Caucasian, we are from the Caribbean, and so yes, there's much diversity in cultural differences, and so these things could really form a basis of even educating people all across the campus how to deal with differences that are now coming into the university.